Hey everyone, welcome back to the Reclaimed Ranch. My name is Tara, and I recently just got home from Nashville, Tennessee, and I met my friend Sonnet from Sonnet's Garden Blooms, Sylvia from Backyard Brushes, and Julie from Dirt Road Relics, and we spent a few days together shopping the world's longest yard sale. It's called the 127 yard sale. It goes from Ohio all the way down the 127 to Alabama. It is amazing. And so I wanted to kind of share with you what I had found. Of course, I had 2 extra suitcases to bring my goods home, but my friend Sylvia actually is bringing home a few of the bigger things that I had found and bought there. So thanks to Sylvia for doing that. Love her. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I want to tell you that a lot of these are already going to be live on my website for a purchase. So kind of exciting for you guys because you get to share in the fun too. All right. So first up is this beautiful American Family Scale. It's got a really pretty kind of like a tan cream color, and it actually is a working scale. So love that. Love the old rusty, crusty chippiness of it. You can always upcycle and paint these. I know Sonnet has painted a couple of them and they turned out gorgeous. So always need one of those in your stash of kitchen items. So those are always fun. And then we have, a lot of people were asking me to look for these little bobbins, wooden bobbins. And so I found a guy that had a whole tub full. So I think I got 15. And then I put them in little packs of 3 with some drop cloth, little tied together. So they look cute. We're also going to be doing some styling at the very end, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And then there was lots and lots of brass there. So I am a brass lover. And so I picked up these guys, cute little set of brass birds. This one looks like a cardinal, but this is not a female cardinal, but they were as a pair. So I'm going to sell them as a pair anyway. Super cute little base, solid brass. Love those. And then we have a brass bell. Now they wanted a pretty penny for these because we actually went a week ahead of the actual sale. So city limits could not start the sale until last Thursday to yesterday. But we went the week before, and county had tons of people setting up early. So we had plenty of vendors to go through. But yeah, this is a really pretty bell, brass bell that we got. And a lot of the vendors had kind of the same stuff, but there was some really cool, unique pieces, let me tell you. Got a little copper and brass planter. Thought that was cute. Some people call them cauldrons, I guess, but it would be cute to have just a little thing of greenery inside because greenery fixes everything, you know. I did get a little tiny brass candle holder. They didn't have the pair, so I'm just going to be selling him single, but still, you can have all kinds of different heights of these on a table scape, and they look beautiful, especially at Christmas time. And I thought this guy was cute. We can always get graders here, but this guy is so little, I thought it was perfect. And I did a recent upcycle with a flat one where I had a piece of old rustic board that I pinned it on. And then in these little slots, you can put like flowers, greenery. You can flip it upside down and hang a little tea towel from them. So very versatile and fun to have in your kitchen home decor. And I found this little piece of wood just in a random box, little pestle, and I love the color of it. Don't mind my finger, I hit it with a hammer a few weeks back. Loved the color of it, thought it was really, really cool, well used. But these are fun just to put in like a gravy boat or just some ironstone pieces that need just a little pop of wood color. And so I love those. And then Sonnet was on the hunt for paintbrushes, but she wanted the big ones. And I found these cute little tools, like a wax brush, maybe an old wax brush. I don't know. It has the number 40 on it. It must be the size. Thought that was cool. And then just this tiny little, really soft bristle toothbrush, paintbrush. And these are fun, again, just to put in as a pop of color for interest. And of course they had tons of rusty, crusty kitchen stuff. Sifter. This is a Foley sifter made in the USA. I definitely would not use that except for home decor. But again, you can put in a piece of greenery or florals and it's fun to have. This little guy caught the attention of a lot of people after I bought it, and it was in a barn sale, kind of like this barn sale must be going on all the time because it was just dust covered and hard to see. But look at how cute this little bronze squirrel is, and it's a candle holder for tapered candles. And I thought he was just adorable. And so I had to pick him up. So he's definitely on the website for sale. Never seen anything quite like this one. So that was a good one. And of course, Sonnet was on the lookout as well for these. These are those old vintage rulers that I think this one is like really rusty, crusty, but they bend out like that. And a lot of people make those stars out of these. But I think they're just cool for just regular decor. And a lot of mine that I got have what's called the brass slider. So I guess for like a carpenter, if they were doing windows, they could slide out this extra brass piece to get a little bit more length, which I thought was kind of fun. But I have 5 of these available on the website. And if you get one, I'm just going to pick one at random because they're pretty much all the same. So, but these are fun just to pop in any, if I have like vintage, modern farmhouse, a little bit of cottage core. My house is pretty eclectic with all kinds of different things, but I love the vintage look paired with a more modern vibe. And then I got this little spool. Thought he was cool. Another random box he was just sitting in. These are always fun. I'll show you how to style with these. And these shoe forms were a big hit down there as well. So I liked this orange red color. Haven't seen that around here as much. And the stamps on them. And then it has a full metal bottom. So again, I will show you how I style this type of shoe form. And then here is a full brass candle snuffer, which I thought was cool. Now, I'm not sure what this piece is for. Can you guys let me know in the comments? Like, is there a rhyme or reason? I mean, to snuff the candle, you just stick it over the top, right? I don't know why this is there or what the purpose is. So let me know in the comments. And then I came across a string of these. I thought these keys were just super cool. And then I found out they were for roller skates. Those really, really old vintage metal roller skates. I guess this is the key that you use to make them bigger or smaller. So that's fun. I got like 5 of those. And there was a lot of bells, cowbells in that area. They wanted a pretty penny for them though. The bigger ones, they wanted like 40 bucks. So I got this gold colored one. It's not brass, but it works really well. And then this little metal one, it's kind of rusty crusty. But yeah, they are definitely usable. Then I came across this tiny little glass jar and it has like little rusty nails in it, but I loved the rusty top. Thought this would be really cool to put in just a small vignette as just a little character piece. Then came across a really old hand-carved wooden spoon, primitive style. There is a couple of things, it's got a crack here, small chip there, but I love that for the character, and it's actually a really good size. And they did have some brushes. So this is an old horse brush, and horsehair is included. I tried to clean it out as good as possible, but look at the patina on this, the old leather and the wood. You can see the finish is coming off a little bit, but how cool would it be to have like a photo or a postcard, some ephemera in there? And it just is a really cool addition. They did have a lot of spools, and this is called a beehive spool because of the shape at the bottom. And I have a lot of these in my own home decor, so I will show you how I style those. And then again, I have some more brushes, just various colors and sizes. And those are also on the website. And I came across to this really cool hammered copper pitcher, and it's got a brass handle. Now there is some dings and dents in it, but again, for home decor, I think it's just beautiful with some florals or greenery. The greenery could even hang out on a shelf, would be fun. And that can actually hide some of those little dents. But for me, I love the dents and dings. I mean, it is hammered, so it already has a ton of dents anyway. And then we had a lot of rusty crusty stuff. So this is like a light, I think like a light cage for a lantern or something, I want to say. But these are just super cool again to have florals in, or you can use it like a cloche to have a little animal inside there, and then put like a finial on top would be fun. So I just pick up random rusty crusties like this all the time. And I always come across like old pairs of scissors. And some of these are really rusty crusty. Some of them are a little bit shiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Dixie Belle products to make them rusty crusty. And then I love to put these in like old spools, or just some random pictures and things, like for sewing. If somebody loves to sew and they love antique things, it's just fun to have something like this in a display. And then these little guys, they're not butter pats. I looked them up. They're from like a little tiny tea set, I think, like a little children's tea set, but they are vintage and they look like butter pats because they have the size. So it would be super cute to have something like this in your ironstone set. I did find the salt and pepper shakers. I have the Pioneer Woman butter dish and a canister on my website. And now I have the set of salt and pepper shakers to go with that. So that was cool. And this little guy caught my heart because he is cast iron, rusty crusty, super old looking. Loved it. It's a little piggy bank. And for farmhouse lovers, this would be really cool in a kitchen setting, I thought. People wanted an arm and a leg for vintage doorknobs. Had to kind of wheel and deal with some of these. So this is a really pretty porcelain one. It has a lot of rust to it. But for Christmas time, you put the bottle brush trees in there, and then you switch it out in the spring. You can put floral in, same with the autumn, fall, another floral item. So these are really, really cool in home decor. I did come home with some ironstone. This is actually porcelain. It's Royal, I think it's Danube is what it's called, and it's 1886, but it came with this little platter and this creamer. So it probably at one time had the sugar bowl with it, but I thought it was super cute to maybe put that there with some kind of fun tea bag or something. Would be cute with a little floral hanging out. So this is going to be as a set. And then Sonnet actually looked at this, had it in her hand and put it back down because it was dirty. She thought it was like stained, and I said nope, because I picked it right up after her. And I did have to do some elbow grease, but look at how beautiful this is, this teapot. It is the Hawthorne, France stamp on the bottom. No chips, no cracks, nothing. It's in perfect condition. So that is going to be up on the site as well. Super cool. And I found a little French horn for Christmas time. It has the little Christmas colors on the rope already. So that's always fun to have for Christmas decorations. And you guys, oh my word. I came across these scoops. They are primitive wooden scoops. And this guy was going out of business. He was done with the antique world, and so I got a really good deal on these spoons. Look at how gigantic this one is. It is humongous and gorgeous, just beautiful. There is a slight crack starting right there, but honestly, I love that effect. That old, you know, I've been used, I've been maybe abused. But I think it's just a lot of fun, and you can put it on a tablescape, put a candle in here with some greenery. You can just do so many things with these in for decor. So that was the biggest one I got. And then this is the smallest one, and I'm keeping the middle-sized one. But again, just look at the color of this wood. It's so pretty. You can see all the carving details out of it, and it's all nice and smooth because it's been used. But how fun. And I'll show you how I styled mine in my kitchen. And then there were a few items that were a little too big to bring home on the airplane. Sonnet found one of the things I was really looking for was a printer drawer. And at the very end of one of the days, she spotted one, and it was $50, originally $75. So he brought it down to $50. And then Sonnet's like, would you take $40? And he's like, okay. And I'm like, sold. So I got that. I'm so excited and so thankful for her for spotting that. And I did get a beautiful big butter churn crock. You'll see in the video reel coming up, and because I'm going to take you along to some of the tents that we went to. And then I got another size crock with the handle, and then I got one of those really old, really big, they were for beating the dust out of the rugs. It was like wire, and it was all rusty and crusty, and a wooden handle, super cool. So I got that, and I thought it was gonna fit in my suitcase, but it wasn't. It didn't. So those will be mailed to me soon. So I hope you enjoy. Stay tuned. I'm going to take you along for some of the places that we went, and then at the very end, we're going to style, and I'll give you some tips on that.
Headlights on the highway, if you only knew. Being back here always makes me think of you. When the world is sleeping, do you think of me? With the road ahead's coming back again, coming back to me. I remember the long drives, the late nights in your car. I remember it all. Windows down, empty streets, you were all I used to know. You and I, forever ago. And you used to drive me home. Now I drive alone. You and I, forever ago. This town's so quiet, this time of year. With the road ahead's coming back again, coming back to me. I remember the long drives, the late nights in your car. I remember it all. Windows down, empty streets, you were all I used to know. You and I, forever ago. And you used to drive me home. Now I drive alone.
Okay, so a lot of times this is how I love to style these shoe forms. I find some books, get a stack of books, set it up on top, and I think that just looks absolutely beautiful. And then for the bobbins, like I have my black beehive bobbin, I have all kinds of different heights that I like to do. And like I put some of these bobbins in my crock. I just put some paper on the bottom, and that way they can stand up a lot easier. And I just think it looks so fun and antique and vintage. But then there's some things that are, new. I made this little resin dog here because I have little Frenchies. But yeah, you can always use modern and vintage all in one collection. Okay, so this is in one of my cabinets. I've got some ironstone in there, and I have some shoe forms just sitting in a big bowl with a brush. So that's another way that you can display those brushes and shoe forms. Again, sorry, the glare. The wood shoe forms just gives it a pop of different color. And again, my little bobbins, I love putting them in vases. And I also have the brushes and stuff in a crock. So you can do so many cool things with all of these different pieces. Here again, I have another beehive bobbin. This is on top of my refrigerator. And just because it's part of sewing doesn't mean it can't go in the kitchen. I have like spools all over my entire house. Just something fun to collect. And again, I have spools in an ironstone vase. I just love that classic look of whites and woods. And here is my spoon, or my wooden scoop, I should say. Now he's worst aware of all three. He's got a big crack here and a split there, but I think he's gorgeous and fits just perfect on my wall there. So that's how I've got him styled. But you can also lay him down again, like I said, and put things inside and make it really, really pretty. These are those little paintbrushes. Just because they're paintbrushes doesn't mean they can't go in your living room decor, your kitchen decor, bathroom. It's just whatever your heart feels is the place that they need to be is where you should put them. And see, these are those rulers. Sonnet had a really cool display at the retreat where she had a whole bunch of them stacked up like this at different angles. And I thought that was super cool. And then you can always take a shoe form as well and stick it on top. This one's a little bit too big, but I do have a smaller one that would fit that better. So there's just so many different things that you can do. I just keep playing around with my styling until I step back and look and go, okay, that looks pretty good. And as you can see, I already have some of these gorgeous porcelain knobs with some florals in them, a little bit of greenery. They just create just a little bit, a touch of like outdoors with the old and vintage. And I just think it's like the perfect touch to the overall look. If you have like, I had to put greenery up in that one because if it's too woodsy and whites and you need a little something extra, greenery or florals will always pull it together. Okay, so this is the reason I get those old scissors. This is a giant spool of thread, but a lot of times you get the smaller ones and those little scissors actually fit pretty perfect. But this is one of the pairs that I had at the 127 yard sale, and I thought he went perfect with this guy. So this is going to be sold as a set, but that's just one idea you can use with those old scissors. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and again, if you haven't been to the 127, I traveled all the way to Tennessee just for this sale, and it was absolutely worth every minute of it. I had so much fun being with my friends, being able to shop for antiques and vintage items. There was plenty to go around, and it's something that I think I want to do either every other year, or I don't know quite every year yet, because I'd like to try some other places, but definitely going to head back to that. And as far as the styling tips, you don't have to style the way I do. I just wanted to give you some ideas of how I use these products. these vintage items in my decor and how I style them. So I hope that did well for you guys and gave you some inspiration to go out and do your own shopping and find your own unique finds and style them in your home. And so we will see you next Monday. I'm going to get back into doing my flips and furniture. I'm finally home for a couple of months. I've been traveling. So that's kind of why I've been MIA for a while, but finally going to get back into the consistency and get you guys some more content. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye.